Hello learners, I Dr. Niradhar, faculty member, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University, welcome you all to this video lesson. Today we are going to discuss one of the very important topic, that is self, peer and group observation techniques for assessment. So friends, as you know, we are discussing your online course that is BES 1 to 7 assessment for learning, and at present we are in the 10th week of your online course, and we are studying the 10th module, and the title of the 10th module is identification of learning gaps and corrective measures. Friends, let me to say, in this module 3 video lessons you will get. First is self, peer and group observation techniques for assessment. Today we are going to this video lesson, and the other 2 video lessons are second lesson is characteristics and functions of diagnostic test, and the third video lesson is diagnostic testing and remediation, its areas, role of teacher and strategies. So friends, now let us focus upon our first lesson, first video lesson, that is self, peer and group observation techniques for assessment. Before our discussion, let me to focus upon the learning outcomes. After going through this video lesson, at the same time the part E content of the 10th module of your online course, you will be able to explain the concept of observation as a technique for assessment. You will also able to practice self observation as a technique for assessment. You will be able to practice peer observation as a technique for assessment, and you will be able to use group observation as a technique for assessment. Friends, earlier in our in the 7th module of this online course, we have already discussed about observation as a tool, the process of observation, different types of observation, and how teacher observes in a class, and at the same time how you can use observation if it is a type of research. We have already studied, and here particularly again we will just recapitulate and discuss about the concept of observations and what are the different techniques can be used specially in the class for assessment of learning. Now let us go forward to understand about the concept of observation. Observation is a more natural way of gathering data in class proceedings. You see friends, what is the role of a teacher? The role of a teacher is not only to teach, rather a teacher observes the things and the activities, the proceedings which is going on in a class. You see, teacher does many things. Teacher deliver a lecture, teacher engage the students in different types of activities, teacher demonstrates something in the class. At the same time, teacher also engage students in peer activities, in group activities. Okay. So many a time you will find, being a teacher, that you are teaching, at the same time you have a very close eye on each and every students of your class. Okay. So what the students are doing, if you have given a type of assignment to the students, whether the students are doing that assignment or not, whether all the students are equally participating in the assignment or not. So that's why observation is one of the very important technique that a teacher does in the classroom for assessment of learning. Okay, for assessing the performance of the learners in different you can say subjects, in different content points, in different activities. And further, let me to say, as per the constructivist approach of teaching and learning process, here the formative assessment is given much importance. That means it is considered that assessment is you can say a type of integrated part of teaching learning process. Whenever there is a teaching, then definitely there is some assessment. So that's why here, when the teacher engage themselves in formative assessment to know the mastery level or to know the progress of the learners, then definitely the teacher use different techniques, different tools. So, among these techniques, observation is one of the very pertinent technique or tool you can say. So, here teacher formally or informally observe the activities of the students, then accordingly teacher grades the students. To discuss more about the concept of observation, we can say that observation is one of the most widely used techniques which evaluate various aspects of overt or external behavior of the students in controlled or uncontrolled situation. You see, I am just focusing upon overt behavior or external behavior. That means what the students exhibit in the classroom, what the students do in the classroom. So, when the students engage themselves, when they exhibit their behavior, when they say something, when they participate in a type of discussion, in a type of demonstration, then their overt behavior it come to the light. So, that is why what the teacher will do, the teacher will observe such activities of the students, then accordingly teacher will record, teacher will make a record that what is the behavior of each and every students in the classroom. So, teacher can observe the overt behavior of the students or the external behavior of the students, then accordingly teacher can assess it, and this can be done continuously, because I have already said that assessment as a technique, assessment as a part which is integrated in the teaching learning process. And again we can say observation can also be used in a controlled situation and an uncontrolled situation. Further, when we will discuss different types of observation, we will definitely discuss with illustration what is a controlled situation observation and what is an uncontrolled situation of observation. And further we can say mostly observation is used for obtaining qualitative data. So, friends, you see, so far as school assessment is concerned, assessment of different abilities or the performance of the learners are concerned, assessment of different behavioral trait of the learners are concerned, it can be done in both the ways. It can be done quantitatively or it can also be done qualitatively. Quantitatively means it will be measured in form of certain quantity, in forms of certain scores, in forms of certain numbers, just like in percentage of marks, just like a particular percentage that the students secure in a particular subject. And qualitative means as a teacher supposed to know that you can say the attainment of the students, what are the different skills, what are the different competencies students has already acquired, what are the different knowledge structure and what are the different areas of competency that the student is doing well, and who are the students they are not up to the level. So, that is why you can say mastery learning, at the same time minimum level of learning, whether the students are reaching at the minimum level of learning is also another important concern. So, that is why observation as a technique is used for getting the qualitative data. Okay. Quantitative data, we can get the quantitative data by using different other tests, just like achievement test, just like creativity test and other types of tests, intelligence or the aptitude. But so far as tools are concerned, it is used mostly for assessing different attributes and different traits, mental traits of the learner. So, this is one of such tool. Then further we can say observation can also be used in historical, philosophical and descriptive research. Friends, earlier I have discussed in your module 7 that observation as a technique can be used in classroom situation for assessing performance of the learner, to get qualitative data about the performance, about the progress of the learners. At the same time, this can also be used for action research, for other types of research also, just like for historical research, for philosophical research or for conducting descriptive research. So, friends, let us go forward to discuss other aspect of observation. So far as different types of observation is concerned, mostly we use 4 types of observation. First is the participant observation, then non-participant observation, then structured observation, then unstructured observation. Structured and unstructured observation are, you can say, the format of the observation. In participant observation, we can say that the observer become a part of the process of observation. Okay. So, let in a group students are there and teachers supposed to observe the behavior or the engagement of the students, the participation of the students in the group. So, what the teacher will do? So, here in participant observation, the work of teacher is to observe the situation, observe the behavior. At the same time, the work of the teacher is also to participate as a member in the group, just like other members. So, that is why such type of observation is called as a participant observation. And the second type of observation, that is called as non-participant observation. In non-participant observation, mostly you will find that the teacher or the observer will not be a member of the group, but what the observer will do? Observer will you can say observe the situation not directly but indirectly by using certain technological gadget, or by using or by appointing certain spy, or by using a camera or like that. So, that is why in non-participant observation, observer will not directly participate in the group, but the observer will record the proceedings, record the things which is going on in the situation. Okay. And further, so far as format of observation is concerned, so two types of formats can be used. One is the structured observation and other is the unstructured observation. So, friends, try to understand that what is a structured observation and what is an unstructured observation. A structured observation, we can say that what are the different things will be observed, what is the purpose of the observation, what are the objectives of the observations. So far as the purpose, so far as the objectives is concerned, you will find that certain structured questionnaires are framed first, a list of questions, a list of items are listed first, and the observer will just observe basing upon those items. But in an unstructured observation, it is free to observe. That means all those things which is going on in the situation when the students are doing certain activities, teacher will just observe it. So it is unstructured form, nothing is purely planned first, but in a structured observation you will find that the items, the aspects structured priorly, so that the teacher will focus upon only those aspects for observing the behavior of the students. So friends, now let us go forward to know about the procedure of observation. So friends, three stages we have to follow for conducting observation. Stage 1, that is called as the planning for observation. The observer has to prepare a detailed plan that what are the different aspects will be observed, how the teacher will observe, when the teacher will observe, in what activity, in what natural situations. So everything will be planned keeping in consideration of the purpose and the objective of the observation. And in the stage 2, so far as procedure of observation is concerned, here stage 2 focuses upon execution of the observation, means after proper planning the real observation will be conducted in second stage, and in the third stage recording and interpretation of observation will be conducted. So here whatever will be observed, it may be a participant observation, it may be a type of non-participant observation. So what the teacher or what the observer will do, observer will record either manually or by using a camera recorder. Okay. So the things which is going on in the situation will be recorded. So this is the 3 stages procedure for conducting an observation. And further, so far as purpose of observation is concerned, we have already discussed. Then very briefly let me to focus upon it. First of all, to capture and study human behavior as it actually happens. Then the next purpose is it helps in comprehension of the activities of the persons in real life or social life, and further it aims at correction of some methodological errors which otherwise might have been overlooked. So many a time by using the observation, teacher also take a decision about the methodology that has been used by him or her in teaching, in his or her teaching behavior. So, by observing the things, so teacher may make certain correction, teacher may after getting the feedback from the observation, teacher can also modify the methodologies that he or she has used in the teaching process. And further, the other purpose of observation is like to explore students in a real life situation and find out many such hidden behavior of the students. So, what are the different hidden behavior? Many a time you will find that students they hesitate to exhibit themselves, students they hesitate to expose themselves so far as different subject knowledge is concerned, so far as answering a question asked by a teacher is concerned. But here if you will observe the natural situation when the teacher is doing certain activities, then definitely many hidden aspects of students' personality, students' behavior can be exposed, can be exhibited, and that can be properly observed for assessing their performance. And further we can say this can also be used to look beyond what is already known about the subject and to examine the probability of some alternative directions for assessment and research. So, here also one important thing that by doing the observation, certain alternative directions about assessment, a teacher can also take a decision that whether the assessment practices which is being practiced, which is being used is enough or any other methods or techniques can be used. And further we can say that what are the different techniques of observation that as a teacher we can use for assessment of learning. So, here mostly we can use three types of technique. First is the self observation technique, and second is peer observation technique, and the third is group observation technique. Next we will discuss about the concept of peer observation technique, then group observation technique, first self observation technique, then peer observation technique and group observation technique. Let us go forward. So far as self observation technique is concerned, we can say that self observation occurs when a student assesses and makes judgments about his or her own work and development. So, many a time we say that peer self learning, self motivated learning, self assessment, accordingly self observation. It means the learner or the students will observe himself or herself, they will observe within themselves. Okay. So, that means whatever they are doing so far as their learning is concerned, so far as their performance is concerned, when they deliver certain things, when they exhibit certain things, when they demonstrate certain things, whether they are doing it properly or not, what are the different things they perform in the class, in the school, whether it is up to the mark or not. So, that is why if the learner, if the students will observe themselves, will engage themselves in self observation, then definitely they can get a clear reflection about their behavior, clear reflection about their performance. Okay. And accordingly they can modify, if it is not up to the mark, they can modify their behavior. Then further we can say self observation is linked to reflective practice as it involves self development and as such is an important skill for career development and management. And further we can say self observation helps learners for enhancing their own learning. So, here you see we use self observation technique not only assessing the performance of the learners, rather we can say by doing the self observation our another purpose is for enhancement learning of the learners. So, when the learner will observe themselves, engage themselves in self observation, then definitely they will engage themselves in learning, in acquainting with the new learning, understanding the new learning. So, that is also another important aspect. And further, so far as you can say how the learners will do the self observations. So, here how does self observation help students? So, how it helps students? First of all, it helps students in three different ways. First of all, we can say that for the development of intrinsic motivation, for the development of extrinsic motivation. It helps the students, just like first of all a desire leading to produce a want to learn. So that means when the learner will engage themselves in self observation, it means it is their intrinsic motivation, it is their motivation, or it is their inspiration that they are getting within themselves. Okay, so they are getting self motivated, self oriented, that they will engage themselves for observing their activities, what they are doing. So that's why that also lead the learners to produce a want to learn. They will understand that yes, they have the wish to learn. Then further, it also arises extrinsic motivation, such like a need is built up and that make the individual to learn. So when you can say self observation will motivate the learners to learn, motivate learners to exhibit certain things what he or she knows, then we can say that this is the extrinsic motivation. And for the third aspect that the students get help from self observation, that is making sense and digesting what has been learnt. So the students will develop a type of sense, and students will also digest what they have learnt. So that's why in this way students get help from self observation. And so far as the techniques of self observation is concerned, we can say that it is a practice of observing yourself as if another person. So you will observe yourself just like the other person is observing, or you observing other persons. So accordingly, what you will do, you will observe yourself, you will just think, you will rethink, go through your performances. Okay, and further, how you will do it? It can be done by recording of own behavior by using a camera or video recorder. So many a time, if you have to perform certain things on the stage, you just remember your school days. So what you are doing in your school days, you are just performing in front of a camera, you are just performing in front of a mirror. So you are just observing yourself, that how you are doing the things. And if your activities, let it is a type of speech, or if it is a type of debate or discussion, so if you practice it in front of a video recorder or a video camera, and further if you want to watch it, then definitely you will get a type of feedback, a type of insight that how you are really doing, and what are the different aspects, in which part there is the need of modification. So that can also be possible. So by recording the events by using a video recorder or a camera, this technique can be used for self observation. And further, we can say it is simply impartially observing, recording without judgment of your thoughts, emotions, feelings, moods, sensations, and even movements, tones of voice, facial expressions, and so on. So here whatever you will observe, impartially you have observed. Okay, so here no need of dominating you about you can say attitude of partiality, or you should forget that you are observing yourself. So subjectivity should not be there. Impartially you have to observe. So your emotions, thoughts, feelings, moods, sensations, you can say even movements, tones of voice, facial expressions, that you have to observe, but impartially you have to observe. And further, so far as the concept of peer observation is concerned, we can say that peer observation is an arrangement when students make observation on other students' work. So peer means two. So when two students are engaged, in the process of observation, just like you observe your friend and your friend will observe you. So by doing such things, we can also assess the performance of the learners. So that's why many a time you must have observed that your teacher in your school, your teacher in your class is engaging yourself in peer assessment. Your teacher is providing others copy, others answers to you. Okay, and many a time teacher takes a test, and after the testing, after the administration of the test, what the teacher does, teacher distribute the answer sheet or the answer sheet to the particular students, rather in peer teacher distributes. That means the answer sheet of X distributes to Y, answer sheets of Y given to Z. So accordingly peer assessment techniques can also be used so far as assessment for learning of the learners are concerned. Then further, peer observation can play a vital role in formative evaluation and can also be used as a component for summative evaluation. So friends, two things I am just emphasizing here: formative assessment as well as summative evaluation. So two types of evaluation. You can also take the use of peer evaluation both in formative assessment, which is continuous in nature, comprehensive in nature, and which proceeds, which continues throughout the year. And you can also engage in summative evaluation, or by doing peer observation, summative evaluation can also be done. And different areas of peer observation, just like here different areas are areas of peer observation. First is your essay. If the learners, if the students have developed certain essay, that can be evaluated by using the peer observation technique. That means you can distribute the essay sheets, one students to other, or X copies to Y, Y copy to X, then accordingly you can assess. Then reports also, you can also distribute certain reports. So far as peer assessment is concerned, you can distribute it to the peers. Then presentation also, let the students have prepared the presentation. So you can also engage students for peer observation of the presentations, and the students will give their comments, students will give their feedbacks, and on the basis of the comments and on the basis of the feedbacks, then the students will modify themselves. Then further, projects can also be, assessment of projects can also be done by using the peer observation technique. Then dissertation report, then many types of assignments. So assignments and which is a part of the teaching learning process can also be done by using the technique of peer observation. And so far as group observation is concerned, so here it is one step ahead. That means first it was self observation, that means the things was happening within the individual. Then in peer observation, so here things will happen within two students, okay. Then in group observation, here the observation will be conducted in a group of students will participate together, just like here observation of students behavior when they work in a group. So many a time teacher gives certain work to the students to perform in a group. So that's why group observation can also be used for the assessment of the learners. Then further, this can also be done when students work in a project jointly, or in a type of group discussion, or any type of group assignments. So jointly, when the students are working jointly, or many a time let you have distributed, you have made group to the students, let 40 students are in your class, you have made 4 groups. In each group 10 students are there, and you have given a type of project, you have given a type of assignment to them. So they will do it in group, okay. So here they will engage themselves in group activities, they will engage themselves for preparing the assignment as a group assignment for the assessment purpose. And further we can say the performance of the individual can be better judged when he or she works in a group. Because when the learners will work in a group, mostly this has observed that the learners will feel very active, very easy. At the same time, they will participate actively without bringing any shyness in their mind, in their behavior. So that's why group activity or group observation technique, you can say, is a better technique so far as other techniques are concerned. And further we can say group discussion is an important activity in academic, business and administrative sphere. So this technique can be used in the academic sphere, in business sphere and administrative aspect also. In a group discussion, a learner's thought process is influenced by the views and opinion of other peer members and vice versa, and at the same time by observing the contribution of members in the group discussion, assessment can be done, and this can be done vice versa. So, when you will observe the behavior of others, they will also observe the behavior of yours. So, friends, just to recapitulate today's session, today we discuss about the technique of observation and the concept of observation and different types of observation, the procedures of observation, at the same time different techniques of observation. So far as self observation is concerned, peer observation is concerned, and the group observation is concerned, by using these three observation technique, as a teacher you can engage yourself for assessment of learning of the learners in your class. For further queries, you can write to me niradhar@ignou.ac.in. You can make me a telephone call. My intercom number is 2994. You can visit my Facebook account, my YouTube channel, at the same time my Twitter handle. You will find many such video lessons relating to your course, relating to the discipline of education, as well as your B.Ed program, and that will help you a lot for your studies. In our next session, we will discuss any other aspect which is included in your online course BES 1 to 7 assessment for learning. Thank you.